Good morning, everyone. Jill here with North Texas Vegetable Gardening, canning, recipes, a little bit of everything. And boy, have we had a very different week when it came to weather. Last weekend we were at like 104 with a heat index of 113, and we got a cool front that rode through here on Tuesday, and it brought us about 4 to 5 inches of rain. We needed it, guys, desperately, but we're in a hurry now to get the high tunnel up. And so my husband's going to try to start on that today. But in process for the high tunnel and fall gardening, because we are still going to be gardening outside, I have been working on my seed starting, and I did a video a couple of weeks ago telling you about how the survival seeds performed, and we're going to check up on those and see how my other ones have performed as well. First, let's do a check, guys, on where the high tunnel is going to go. It's going to go in the main garden, as you guys know. It's going to be a 20-foot wide by 36-foot long. And you can see that mushroom compost is keeping the moisture in, which is what we want. But my concern is I got some weeds already coming up. So we need to get this high tunnel up as soon as possible so I can get in there and prepare the soil and put my weed cloth down and I get ready to plant. Now we are going to plant outside the high tunnel as well because we do feel like we can put some cool weather plants outside. Let's also do a checkup here on my raised bed. You can see my pepper plants have rebounded, and I think, guys, that maybe this is a blessing, because what I'm going to do with these pepper plants and the tomato plants is when the high tunnel is up is I'm going to dig these up and we're going to put them in the high tunnel and see if we can't keep them going all season. And I'm going to show you why. Look here, because of the cooler nights and all the rain, I'm starting to get buds and even a tomato on one of my little tomato plants, and these as well are starting to shoot some blooms out. So I'm excited about these because I think that they're going to do just fine in the high tunnel. But I've got lots of pepper plants that are going to go inside there. Let's check out my carrots here that I planted about 3 weeks ago, guys. They're coming up really good, and I expect these to be just fine. The rain and the cooler temperatures have helped, and so I'm excited about that. And these are some of the bush beans that I planted, and we're going to see how these do as well. We don't expect a freeze for some time now, but we do have a weather change coming. In this bed, I've gone ahead and pulled up all my green beans that were in here, the bush beans. And we do have some ginger over there that was getting smothered out, so we're hoping to revive that before our first freeze. And there's a couple of cloves of garlic coming up. We did harvest that already as well. But anyway, we intend to use this raised bed this winter as well. So guys, don't get wrapped up in the high tunnel gardening, because we're still going to be planting outside, and we're still going to be planting in these raised beds, and we're going to show you exactly what you can do too. So here are my seed starters. You guys may recall some of these I started 3 weeks ago, and some I started 2 weeks ago, but I wanted to show you how they're doing. I did need to get them out of the little trays and go ahead and put them in these 4-inch pots with some good soil. And we're going to keep these going because these will be what we transplant. Some will go in the high tunnel and some will go in the outside. I started to transfer some of my onions over to the 4-inch pots, and I still got a lot more to go, but let me show you why. So here are the rest of my seed starters, and we use these little seed starting divider trays, and they did really good on germinating. But one of the mistakes I made that I want to share with you is this. You can see in the tray I had them sitting in has standing water. That probably was a little bit too much water for them, and that happened because we hit cooler temperatures and we had quite a bit of rain. So I've got them out, and I'm going to let them dry out, and then I'm going to transplant them into the 4-inch pots. So the reason why I did put them in the trays is when I planted these, we were in the 100-degree temperatures, and I needed to keep them moist, and it did work. But now it's time to let them dry out and go ahead and transplant them into the 4-inch pots because they are starting to get a little root bound. An update on the survival seed starters. You can see here some of the red cabbage, guys, is starting to come up. So I'm going to let that foster this week, and I'll probably transfer those over to the 4-inch pot when they're ready. But you can see I have a really nice little one germinating there, and quite possibly one there and one there. We're going to see what happens with these in the next week, and if they continue to grow and prosper, then we will put them in the 4-inch pots and get them ready to put in the ground. So for my agenda today, I'm going to start some seeds for my lettuces. And I'm going to take one of my seed starter trays, which I believe has 48 compartments, and I'm going to start some lettuces. It's going to take probably 2 to 3 weeks for my husband to get that high tunnel up, especially with the weather that's changing. In fact, guys, in the panhandle of Texas next week, they're predicting snow and ice, which is unprecedented. We are having such a strange year. 2020 is surely showing off. I can certainly say that. But anyway, we're expecting to already be in the low 50s next week for our lows. Some areas, outlying areas, may get in the high 40s, which may be us. And other areas will be in the low 50s. And during the day, it looks like our highs are going to be in the 60s for a couple of days. Very, very strange for this time of year in Texas. Normally, we don't even hit 58, 59 degrees until around September 21st or 22nd. Wondering what this year is going to bring us as far as weather-wise. We will certainly find out, but we're trying to be as prepared as we can. You guys need to too. If you're planning to plant in your raised beds or your garden, you can go ahead and get some lettuces in. You still have some time. You can get some kale in. Maybe some cabbage. Cabbage is a long grower. Try some Swiss chard. Put your beets in. Put your turnips in. These are all things you can plant directly outside now, right now. Especially here in North Texas after we got all that rain. The soil should be workable and they should germinate pretty quick. So go ahead and get on that. If you're wanting to start planting for your spring garden and for your onions and for your kale and your maybe broccoli, Brussels sprouts, go ahead and start your seeds probably by the end of this month so that they're ready to plant around mid to late January. And you want to go ahead and get those going if you're going to start your own seeds. If not, you can't normally find those plants ready to plant until around the 1st of March, which sometimes is too late. So I encourage you to start your seeds now. Start them indoors. If you have a place outside where you can start them, where they'll stay warm and sunny, or get you a growing mat, a warmth mat, then you need to go ahead and do that, and then you'll have your stuff ready to plant come mid to late January. So anyway, husband's going to start on the high tunnel today, hopefully. He's going to start setting the post, and we hope to have that thing up in the next 2 to 3 weeks. But in the meantime, I do need to get some seeds started so that when it is up, I can go ahead and get them in the ground. And I need to get some seeds started so I can get them in the ground outside the high tunnel as well. And that's what I'm going to be doing today. Take care. God bless. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you have any questions, go ahead and submit them in the comments below, and I'll sure be happy to try to answer them. We ask that you click that subscribe button and click that little bell so you know when I process and put up a new video. Have a great weekend. Stay cool, stay dry. This week promises to be a very different week for North Texas weather-wise.